All right, so first I'll show you the old way of paying an invoice, which involves printing it out, using this stamp, and manually handwriting in all of the fields on that stamp, then scanning it and routing it for payment. So first we pull up the invoice from an email, then we go ahead and print it out and run over to the printer. So now that we're back, we have the voucher off the printer. We will take the stamp, place it on there, and we'll have to handwrite all of the fields. And hope that the people that process the voucher will be able to read my wonderful handwriting so that it gets paid correctly. Then, now that the stamp is filled out, we will scan it. And then we will index it and route it for payment. All right, so the other way of doing this involves an electronic stamp, and we don't have to print it out. So the first thing we'll do is we'll come over here and pull up the invoice from an email. Then we'll pull up our invoice approval stamp. Then, once we have everything filled out, we will copy and paste it onto the PDF. And you can move the stamp wherever you want to make sure it's not blocking anything important. We'll then save it to our files. And we'll go into the scanning software. And we will be uploading it without ever printing it. And there we go.
The Bridge Office reviews shop drawings for a wide variety of IDOT assets, including steel plate girders, wide flange beams, PVC I-beams, PVC deck beams, and many roadside lighting and traffic control structures. Currently, paper copies of shop drawings are routed between fabricators, reviewers, and the Bridge Office. This process includes sending hard copies through the mail to the Bridge Office, then to the fabricator, back to the Bridge Office, and then making distribution copies to multiple parties. In 2018, there were 824 submittals totaling over 30,000 sheets of paper that were reviewed and distributed by the Bridge Office. At about $7 per submittal, the department paid almost $6,000 in shipping, with fabricators paying the same for their mail.
We now return to our regularly scheduled programming.
ITP, or Information Tied to a Point, is a project we initiated in the Bureau of Business Services Property Control Unit in response to multiple inconsistencies related to the department's real property assets. Real property refers to land and buildings owned by the department and used for operational purposes. For example, district headquarter facilities or operations yards. IDOT is actually the largest landholder in the state of Illinois, but the vast majority of that land is designated as right-of-way, which is the land that our transportation infrastructure sits on or is directly adjacent to. Current state law requires the department to provide an accurate accounting of all real property assets on an annual basis and to report that information to the legislature in the form of an annual real property utilization report, or what we commonly refer to as the ARPR. Historically, real property records have been mostly kept in the form of paper files, and additionally, there were no established procedures across the department for updating those files or for keeping accurate records with respect to this information. And so the task at hand was to design a creative electronic solution that would both serve as a single source of truth and provide easy, ready access to all the required information related to real property. The first step was to conduct a statewide physical inventory of all the department's real property assets. This effort was coordinated with several different functional areas of the department, including the Bureau of Operations, the Office of Planning and Programming, and the Bureau of Business Services Capital Improvements Unit. The goal being to ensure property control numbers were assigned to all buildings and that we had accurate updated records for all the sites in question. The department's ArcGIS platform was selected as the tool of choice for creating an all-in-one electronic solution for many reasons, but mainly because of its simple map-based user interface, which lends itself perfectly as a graphic representation of all IDOT real property assets at a single glance. This is where ITP, or Information Tied to a Point, comes into play. The point, or more accurately, data points, overlay department-owned real property assets displayed on an ArcGIS map. Users can now simply click on the various data points to immediately access essential information related to each site and facility. This solution not only satisfies the ARPR data requirements, but also lends itself to a whole host of other potential uses, both within the department and to the general public.
Hi, my name is Alan Pareno. I'm a Civil Engineer 3 designer in the Bureau of Design in District 1. My innovation concept is a set of spreadsheet templates for designing ADA corners on a roadway intersection. I have developed it over a course of 2 years, and during that time period I have continuously improved upon it, and it has continuously evolved while I was designing numerous ramps. Since last year, several fellow designers have used my spreadsheet templates for designing their ADA ramps, and they have praised it for the following characteristics. It is very visual. The shape in the spreadsheet of the model closely follows the shape drawn on the microstation. This is very important because the designer can easily follow the shape of the ramp being designed, and this leads to decreased error in designing as well as efficiency. Secondly, the cells are formulated in a very simple way using algebraic coding, and it is also modular so that you can copy, rearrange, and move around cells and group of cells around the spreadsheet to suit the specific ramp being designed if it has some differences from the previous ramp being designed. And thirdly, overall, The spreadsheet is very user-friendly. It is easy to learn, easy to set up, and easy to use. It is very important that it is easy to learn because it can be scaled in terms of its usability across an organization of users of a wide spectrum of computer coding background. You do not have to be a computer genius to use this spreadsheet. I have literally taught an average user how to use the spreadsheet in 15 minutes. I can elaborate more on how this spreadsheet works on the day of presentation on March 27th. Thank you for your time.
Hi everyone, my name is Amrita Mate. I'm a CE4 in District 1. My innovative idea was to revamp the project monitoring report, which is a spreadsheet we use to track day-to-day activities required to complete a project in Phase 1. This new revamped version is designed to provide guidance and independence to the incoming engineers. So let's see how it works. Hello, Mo.
Hello, my name is Mo Kawash. I work here in programming in-house, District 1, CE2.
How have you used the project monitoring report so far?
Yeah, perfect. Here, I want to do an initial letter for county. So I go right here, I click it. It takes me to this thing. Fill out the information right here. After I finish filling it out, I go right here and I follow the steps and I save it right here.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, y'all.
Hello,
Want to introduce yourself?
Ihab Abodera, CE1, working in programming, District 1.
Do you feel that the PMR is saving you time, and if so, how?
Oh yeah, absolutely. When using PMR, I don't really waste any time trying to think what I have to do or how to do it. I usually just go into the PMR, find my highlighted tasks, follow the simple directions right next to it, and utilize the hyperlinks to jump to whatever look for what I need to save my file and my work in this structured filing system on the right. And then when everything is well and done, I just go to the folder organization. That's where that tells me how to finalize my project report in a nice and neat way.
Well, thank you.
Thanks.
Here we have Autumn.
Hi,
Want to introduce yourself?
I'm Autumn Worden and I'm a CE1 and I'm in District 1.
Can you compare this rotation to your previous one, and has having a tool such as the PMR made your transition easier?
I would say this rotation is very different from construction. In my previous rotation, I feel like I had to ask a lot of questions of my RE and coworkers, and having the PMR in programming makes it a lot easier for me to answer the questions on my own and work more efficiently.
Thank you.
Yep.
I bet you have used both the old and the new version of the PMR. What differences have you found?
In the new version, everything is updated. For example, in the old version, there were things like aerial photos and mapping that were in there, and all of those have been deleted, and there are new things in the new form, which are all hooked up to the latest forms. And it's color-coded and progressive, so say when you're finishing up the maps and forms for the ESR submittal, and then you check that off, the new items that you should start on next are color-coded at that point, and it keeps you going through the whole process.
Perfect, thank you.
Man, I'm really glad we're finally able to schedule this meeting. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. 30 minutes and we're done, buddy. So, where's the LDS?
The LDS, yeah. I didn't have room for that. I can go get it in archives, I guess. It'll take me a while.
Yeah, that'd be good. Well, I've got to run, and I got a 1 o'clock I gotta meet. It's been nice catching up with you, though, but we'll have to reschedule this meeting. Bye. Are you kidding me? Been in an ironically similar situation? No? You will. But thanks to SharePoint and digitizing your project reports, you may not have to anymore. Simply print what you need, or don't print altogether. Simply bring the digital file in your laptop or your state-issued tablet. You have one of those, right? Don't worry about printing anymore, just use technology.
Alright, so I'm going to take you through the steps of getting to the SharePoint site. In our case, we have a Bureau SharePoint site for templates, and then we have a link in here for approved project reports. Once you go in there, we have it broken down by US route, numbered, named, etc., as well as any drainage studies, and you simply click on the route that you're interested in. You can pull in the project report, click open, and then there it is. There's the full project report for your viewing pleasure. You can have it pretty much anywhere that you have your laptop, a state-issued laptop, for your benefit. One of the limitations is that it's limited to a 100 megabyte file, so you may have to split it into several volumes to make it work. However, it's usually not too complicated to reduce it. If it doesn't work, you just split it. We still keep a hard copy in the archives for ease of use for spontaneous meetings, but in general everything else is digital. The hardest part of it was convincing others of a fact that they already knew, which is paper takes time, paper takes money, and paper takes space. And you can't make more space without taking more time and more money, so give it a try. Now, about those state-issued tablets.
Hello fellow IDOT employees. I'm Brian Smith, the District 3 Senior Hydraulics Engineer, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about my innovative idea. See, a few years ago we were having a recurring issue on some of our older state highways. Culverts, often 90 or even 100 years old, were collapsing, creating blowouts in the pavement above. Our maintenance crews would have to go out and do emergency repairs. These often were temporary in nature and sometimes restricted the hydraulic capacity of the culvert, so we would have to go back later with a permanent solution. In short, we were spending time, resources, and ultimately money solving one problem twice. I thought, we inspect our bridges yearly to create a maintenance program. Why not do that with some of our small culverts? Now obviously nobody wants to crawl through a muddy pipe to take pictures, so after doing some research and talking to some industry representatives, we were able to get this. This is the SuperDroid MLT42W. It's waterproof, can take photo and video, and fits in culverts as small as 18-inch diameter. We just set it at the inlet of a culvert and send it through. We use this tablet to control its movements, and it has a live video feed. In the short time we've had the robot, we've used it to inspect more than 200 culverts and have found about a dozen that were in immediate need of repair or replacement, not to mention many others that we plan on keeping a continuing eye on. This program allows us to maximize the service life of our infrastructure while keeping the motoring public safe. Well, that's all for me. Drive safe and have a wonderful day.
Hi everybody, my name is Kayla Kroller and I am the District 3 Workers' Compensation Coordinator. Currently, the State of Illinois' work comp program is administered by a third-party entity, TriStar Risk Management. The district work comp coordinators act as a liaison between the injured workers and TriStar to provide information and submit medical documentation. Currently, the state of Illinois and IDOT do not have a database to track work comp claims. TriStar does have an online database, but work comp coordinators are limited to read-only access. Current files are worked from paper documents that grow rather quickly. Large paper files are tedious to search and hard to manage, which can impact the rights and responsibilities of both the injured employee and the employer. Here are some examples of paper files. This is a simple medical-only file, which means the employees only sought medical attention. There was no surgeries or lost time. This rather large file is 2 surgeries, limited duty, and work comp payroll. I believe this one ended in a permanent disability settlement as well. By seeing the size of these files, you can imagine the length of time it takes to search for an individual document and the copying that would be involved to share the information to all the authorized parties that is needed. In District 3, to help with some of these problems, we developed an electronic filing system that encompasses Word documents, PDFs, emails, and media that can be viewed by myself, my manager, and internal personnel such as the Work Comp Program Manager and Office of Chief Counsel. This information can be easily shared with CMS, Office of the Attorney General, and TriStar. Included in the digital files is a chronological narrative of the claim and a calendar of all the District 3 injured workers' appointments for medical testing, follow-ups, and procedures.
Hi, this is Tom Cox from District 6 Program Development. I work in Studies and Plans. I would just like to show you an application that we put together for tracking our projects. You can see here that it's a web app. It requires no special software. It's GIS based, cloud based, so you can access the information from anywhere at any time from any device. I'll just go ahead and zoom in real quick here on a project. Here's a Rochester Ad Lanes project. I'm going to expand out the dialog. You can see some of the information that we track, such as percent complete, right-of-way information, environmental, geotechnical. The list goes on and on and on. There's a lot of items that need to be tracked to make sure that projects make their letting date. And this system is a communication tool. It helps us all stay on the same page. If we go over here to the left, I'll expand out the layers. You can see that this map here currently is filtered down to 2018 to 2025, but it contains all of our projects, both funded and non-funded. We also point to several other layers, such as some of the same sources that iRoads point to, CRS, ADT. It's really nice to be able to overlay that information on top of our projects. Also, some of the layers that we created here in District 6 for more like territories type layers, like construction field engineer. I can turn that on. I can see the polygon with labels, along with our operations field engineer, county engineers, those kinds of things. Really just any information that we always need in design or in program development here at District 6 is now very easy to access. We can also access this information in other ways. We can pull it up in the form of a table. If I'd like it to be in Excel, I could just export to a CSV. So a lot of different ways that we can view this information. We can also change the background of the base map, similar to what you might do in Google Earth. So it has a lot of flexibility. I can also type in the contract number and it would zoom in and find that project. Now, if you'd like to have more detailed information, I'd encourage you to check out another video I put together. It's an 8-minute video, and here's just a couple of the slides from that video. It just goes into more depth as to what we use this project for, or what we use this application for, and why we feel it's very important. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Russ Walker and I work in District 7. The DRIVE program was established in response to the lack of training available to employees in program development. New or rotating employees coming into program development generally have a lot to learn. MicroStation, the software used for drafting, is a complex program with many features and functions. Not only is this program completely new to most people coming to the state, the practice of drafting itself is new to most people being hired. Then there are all the manuals, design policies, and standards to become familiar with. The BDE manual alone has over 4,000 pages. The initial learning experience employees face coming into program development can be time-consuming and seem overwhelming. One of the primary goals of the DRIVE program was to facilitate the transfer of knowledge from experienced employees to newer employees. As a result, new and rotating employees have become acclimated to program development, specifically studies and plans, faster. We are hoping the DRIVE program will significantly minimize the loss of knowledge due to retirements in the future. There have been a lot of other benefits to having a robust training program in place at the district level. DRIVE encourages employee networking, the development of teamwork skills, and collaboration on projects. Employees have also gained communication skills and problem-solving techniques through these regular group discussions. It provides opportunities to share tips and tricks for efficient workflows and effective design processes. We now have a forum for the group discussion of issues and can arrive at solutions quicker. We anticipate this will be especially beneficial as we go through the transition from 2D to 3D drafting practices. DRIVE has aided our district in standardizing design practices and will help us produce more consistent and thorough plan deliverables. It serves as a platform to discuss new and innovative ideas in planning, design, and construction practices. DRIVE also offers the potential to save our district money because having training in-house reduces travel expenses. Here are some of the subjects we have discussed and some potential subjects we plan to cover. Thank you for selecting the DRIVE program as a finalist for the 2019 Innovative Ideas Contest.
Hi, my name is Mike Druin. I'm a resident engineer from District 8. For my innovative idea, I created a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet that calculates a construction project's bituminous materials cost adjustment. In all contracts that include asphalt products, a special provision for bituminous materials cost adjustments is included. This special provision adjusts the cost of asphalt used on the project based on the cost of asphalt for the date the asphalt was placed on the roadway. At the end of the project, the contractor is either reimbursed for higher cost asphalt products or the state is credited for lower cost asphalt products. The bituminous materials cost adjustments are done for all bituminous items used on a project. It can be an extensive list, including patches, surface, level binder, shoulders, and full depth pavement. Currently, the bituminous cost adjustments are calculated by hand. It is a confusing and tedious task. This is 1 day's worth of calculations. A medium-sized project will have weeks of asphalt production. The Excel spreadsheet I created makes this process much easier. The resident simply enters their quantities in the yellow areas. The gray areas are automatically calculated based on numerous data points, including IDOT's price indices and the district's mix design. The price indices can be found on IDOT's webpage. The spreadsheet uses this data to calculate the cost adjustments. The cost can either go up or down depending on the price index for that day. Each district tracks the mix designs in their responsible area. This information can be found on the SharePoint site for that district. The spreadsheet automatically obtains data from the price indices and the district's asphalt design list and calculates the cost adjustment for each day of asphalt production. The entries you see here are for 2 weeks worth of asphalt production. Multiple entries for a single day have occurred on this project because of changes in the mix design, the depth of patches, and because of multiple fund codes. Each time any of these changes occur, a separate calculation must be made. This project included bituminous surface, leveling binder, full depth patches, and shoulder. Can you imagine calculating this all by hand? The bituminous materials cost adjustments calculator saves an immense amount of time by simplifying the calculation process. Also, it nearly eliminates the possibility of a calculation error occurring. If you consider the amount of asphalt placed on the roadway across the state, this spreadsheet could potentially save the department tens of thousands of dollars per year. An additional pro is that this project is shovel ready. It has been tested and proven in District 8 by many residents in construction. The Excel spreadsheet file can easily be posted to the IDOT webpage for distribution. Development cost to the state of Illinois is nearly zero. Thank you.
Hello, this is Daryl Leftwich from District 9. Over the course of several years and through the development of many sets of plans, I've put together an Excel spreadsheet that helps designers manage their plan pay items. The spreadsheet interacts with any coded pay item file published by the central office, making it easy to find, add, and keep updated a master list of planned pay items. The spreadsheet then interacts with your schedule files to help keep planned quantities up to date. From this master list, Project Summary can then create a summary of quantities, a preliminary estimate of cost, and even an estimate of time. So let's take a brief look at what the program can do. This is the main data entry sheet for Project Summary. On it you see a table. In the first section there's information for the coded pay items, total quantity, unit price and cost, and production rates for the estimate of time. Let's check our current list of pay items to see that they're up to date with Springfield. Simply click a couple buttons. Here it finds a pay item that contains a typo. We'll click yes to correct that. This pay item no longer exists in the database, and neither does this pay item. So that completes the check. Let's go now and add a pay item to our list. Simply click a couple buttons and select our pay item and add the pay item to the list. I added guardrail. So now let's demonstrate how easy it is to add or to link this to a schedule file. Double click on the cell, pick the schedule file, and simply select the cell containing the total quantity and answer a few more questions, and now that is linked to a schedule. Let's simulate the need to update by deleting several of the total quantities and clicking on Update My Links. Here you see it going out to each schedule file and reestablishing the current values for each. Time doesn't permit, showing you how Project Summary connects to other databases to help you fill out some of this other information. So I'll just simply manually do that, and now we have added all the information necessary for adding guardrail to our set of plans. Creating the summary of quantities is a two-step process. The first step creates the main sheet, which is just one big long list. Here's where you build your breakout columns. When you're done setting up this sheet, simply click on Build Your Sheets, and it creates the sheets ready for import into MicroStation. To build an estimate of cost, simply hit Rebuild, and you see the steel plate beam guardrail has been added in. The estimate of time is much the same. Simply click on Rebuild. There are no pay items to combine on this sheet, and that completes the estimate of time. So time doesn't permit to demonstrate all that Project Summary can do for you, but that is a short run through. Thank you very much.